It's a good question. And the question of God in Advaita Vedanta, in the worldview that we are painting, or the non-worldview that we are painting here, what is the question of God? Now, what is God here? Advaita has, you might be surprised to know, a very precise definition of God. In most theistic religions which specialize in God, when you try to define God, you will find vagueness. When you end up with different conceptions of God, what is God, where is God, can you clearly define what constitutes God? There are different ideas and nothing very clear. You end up with, it'll say something like there is an eternal mystery about it. Well, spare me that. That's good poetry. That's Edgar Allan Poe. But it's not philosophy. Vedanta has a very clear definition. Maya upahita chaitanyam. Consciousness, this pure consciousness, this Brahman we are talking about, conditioned by Maya, but together with Maya, is called God. In the 4 stages we talked about, do you remember? Pot, clay and pot, clay only, and clay without being a cause of anything. Right? In these four stages we talked about. Universe as an effect, Brahman as the cause. Second stage. This is where God comes in. Cause of the universe. All theistic religions regard God as the omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent cause of this universe. All theistic religions will use with the same language, whether it is Vishnu or Durga or Father in heaven, whatever language theistic religions use, one common factor they will say is the creator is behind all of this. The creator is sustainer and ultimately the dissolver in Hinduism. So God as the cause of the reality which is the cause of the universe is the God of Vedanta. If you stop at that point, you've got God. You've got what have you got at second stage? Cause and effect. So if you stop at that point, world and God. So there is something called Brahman, which is the cause of the universe, and we are all part of the universe. But let us worship that Brahman, that is God, that is Vishnu, that is Shiva. In fact, that's the conception of God in Vedantic Hinduism. Saguna Brahman. And that God, being the cause of the universe, must be all-powerful. Not only all-powerful, it's all-loving. It is all-knowing. Can you pray? Most certainly you can pray. Does God love you? Well, definitely God loves you. God has given you the universe to play. Is God just? Yes. God has created the law of karma. So Vedanta completely, Vedanta does not cut down theistic religion. Vedanta gives you the support for theistic religion. Vedanta will completely prescribe. Suppose, there were people, when Shankara taught Advaita Vedanta, the traditional dualistic Hindus would say that these people, they say that I am Brahman. They don't believe in God. They don't believe in many lives. They say world is false, only Brahman is real. Then what about heaven and earth and many lives? And what? They don't believe in rituals. They don't believe in forms. They don't believe in bhakti. What kind of Hindus are they? And the answer given by Advaita was, Baba, listen. We accept every bit of traditional theistic religion. As an individual being, if you freeze the whole analysis at this second stage, at this stage, if I take myself as an individual being, I fully accept that there is a source of this universe, a cause of this universe. And that cause of the universe, Jagat Karana, is Saguna Brahman. Saguna Brahman means Brahman with qualities. What qualities come from Maya. So, that's perfectly all right. All of theistic religion is accepted. But then what more is Advaita saying? If you go to the third stage, you will find this world, which is the creation, the effect of that cause, is not apart from that cause. Every bit of it is set in existence consciousness place. It's an appearance in Brahman. At that level then, Brahman becomes the only reality, and the rest of it an appearance. So the answer to your question is the theory of tiers of truth, two levels of truth. One is called Paramarthika, the absolute. The other one is called Vyavaharika. Or let's reverse this. Vyavaharika is on the top, like the surface of the ocean. Vyavaharika is the relative, empirical, transactional reality. And the underneath, the supporting reality, the reality as it is in itself, Paramarthika, which means absolute. The absolute reality is non-dual consciousness, consciousness without a second. In the Vyavaharika reality, everything that you say goes. Science is accepted, art is accepted, religion is accepted, everything is accepted. So a traditional religious person, whatever religion you belong to, Advaita is happy to sign all the blank checks. Except only provision is the checks are not real. They work in the monopoly game you are playing, but it's a game. That's what Advaita says. That's the difference between a dualist and a non-dualist. For the dualist, this dualist, pluralistic world is the final truth. There's nothing beyond that, no absolute reality beyond that. The only reality is the universe, me, and God. This is a traditional religious framework. Advaita says, God, you, and the universe are nothing but that fundamental reality called Brahman. Use the example of waking and dreaming. In dreaming, you can have everything, but all of it is falsified when you wake up. Not only when you wake up, even back in the dream, suppose you could go back into the dream and do lucid dreaming, you would know all of it to be an appearance. There's a deeper truth underlying everything, but you could happily play the game. You could play your role in the dream itself. So instead of calling it, you can call it real and false, satya mithya, but that hurts many people. Say this world is false, God is false. No. Then let's call it absolute truth and relative truth. Relative truth is a concession. You feel better about it. So I'll add one more thing and before I go to you. Your point about praying to God, is Brahman inert? Inert is not quite the right word. Inert means which does not react with anything. An inert gas. But what will Brahman react with? There's no second thing apart from Brahman. So what about the God of religion who is active and loving and doing things and replying to your prayers? Notice when you talk about Brahman, you are Brahman. Isn't it true? In Advaita Vedanta, when you're talking in terms of the Advaitic paradigm, you are Brahman. You are the absolute truth of this universe. So being Brahman, if you realize that from that perspective, what do you have to pray for? From whom would you want protection? Whom would you want to curse? Nothing. If you actually experience the universe, continue to experience the variety of the universe as an enlightened person, Jivan Mukta, you would feel a oneness with everybody. At the most, if you wanted to pray, you would pray for the welfare of everybody. Look at Shankara's life, the great teacher of Advaita Vedanta. Fully upholding the non-dual truth, he composed so many beautiful hymns to the Divine Mother, to the river Ganga, to Shiva, to Vishnu, to Krishna. Why? On the relative plane, all of this is accepted. Ultimately, if you ask him, if you push Shankara, so your Divine Mother and Shiva and Ganga, so ultimately they are all Brahman, which is my own reality. They all exist, everything is admitted, the earlier part of the Vedas with its rituals and gods, all of it is admitted at the relative plane. So if you ask a specific question, does God or the lower gods of the Vedas or the ultimate God of the universe, do they exist? Or are they concepts? Or are they just ideas or something? They exist in the same sense as you exist right now. If I consider myself to be real, to that extent, Indra and Varuna are also real.
But that's hard to reconcile because I feel myself.
Yes.
I know that I exist. Whereas I need a flight of imagination.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the God of religion, Advaita does not want to prove the God of religion. You are insisting on the God of religion. So Advaita says, yes, the God of religion exists. Now you say, why can't I prove it? Advaita says, not my business. I can prove to you the absolute. God of religion. In fact, everything else except Brahman, your real nature as existence, consciousness, bliss, everything else is contingent. That this room exists and all of us are here, how do you know? You say, I see them. You could be seeing it in a dream. This was the great Descartesian project of doubt, the ultimate doubt. The one thing Descartes couldn't doubt was his own thoughts. Advaita would push that a little forward and say that his thoughts were being revealed to awareness. Descartes couldn't take the final turn away from the thoughts of the final objects to the subject of those objects. Descartes couldn't take the turn there. The consciousness to which the thoughts appear, the presence of the thoughts and absence of the thoughts are revealed by that consciousness. So that cannot be denied. Everything else can be doubted. Science can be doubted. Does science depend on consciousness or consciousness depends on science? Science on consciousness. But if you ask, you'll say, no, this is the worst kind of psychologism. Today we're discussing that. So, it's a whole paradigm, different way of looking at it. Now, you're asking about God. The God of religion depends on faith. What reveals? Where do you find the God of religion? In Vedas, in Bible, in Quran. That's where you find the God of religion. What do they depend on? On your belief. Ultimately, Hinduism says not on belief, you will experience it. Even a board will say, after death you will meet God, which means until that point you have to believe in God. And after death you will meet God. So God also can be experienced, but not right now. Right now, what is revealed to you is, there is a scripture which tells you about God. If you choose to believe in it, good. But there may be people who do not believe in it. Atheists do not believe in it. Buddhists do not believe in it. Jainas do not believe in it. Who was that who said? Voltaire or Pascal, who said, I find no reason for this hypothesis. I think it's I forget, very famous scientist. The king of France asked him, in your entire thesis, Pascal probably, in your entire thesis, I don't find any mention of God. And he said, Your Highness, I don't find any necessity for that hypothesis. So, yes, you say God depends on faith. Correct, God depends on faith. God, that's why bhakti starts with faith.
But you have to look at Vedas in a different light, because we're talking about Vedanta, so it arose from Vedas.
Yes.
Right? So the God of Vedas should be explained. I mean, I feel that Vedanta should explain, because what we understand is that Vedanta came from Vedas.
It did, from the Upanishads, yes.
Yeah, Upanishads. So if Vedas talk of, Indra, Varuna, then how does Vedanta reconcile it? Because now we're not talking about, any religion, we're talking about Vedantic religion.
Right.
So
How does it reconcile? And the answer is pretty simple. How does it reconcile? I'll end with this. Answer is pretty simple. What are you? According to Vedanta, the same Brahman, Satchidananda, limiting itself or identifying with one particular body and mind, you say that's me, according to Vedanta. What are all these people? The same Brahman, limited to one particular body and mind. So these limited to one particular body and mind, Brahman, the infinite limited in one entity, it's called a jiva. These jivas, they go from life to life. Why life to life? Because the bodies get worn out and die. So they are replaced. So new bodies, new experiences. Is it arbitrary? No. It is cause and effect. Causality rules. It's called the law of karma. Now sometimes these jivas, they attain very high positions, extraordinary powers and capacities. So for one cycle of a universe, creation, billions of years of existence, and destruction of the universe, those jivas will have control of certain cosmic powers. So for one universe, A particular jiva will be Indra, another jiva will be Varuna, another jiva will be Agni. So they are worshipped as the devas, gods with small g, not capital G. But God with capital G is the God of religion, Saguna Brahman, God who creates, preserves and destroys the universe. So that is called in our religion sometimes Vishnu, sometimes Shiva, different names and forms, sometimes Durga or Kali or Subramanya, different names are there, Ganesha, different names are put. So this is a very complex system in Hinduism. At one level are the smaller gods who are individual beings like us. We are extremely powerless, they are very powerful. But they are also limited conscious beings, jivas. Ultimately, they are all Brahman. That's what Vedanta wants to tell you. That's what we have to realize. All right, very last question. We have really run out of time.
I'm not sure if I'm repeating the same thing that we've been talking about, but my question has always been if jiva belongs to one person.
No, one person is jiva.
Yes, one person is jiva. So there is a relationship between jiva and consciousness.
Of course.
So is there a precise way to know, just like how we have eyes to see and ears to hear, there should be something that is given to us apart from understanding with scriptures to know directly, experience it directly. Is there a way?
Experience what directly?
Consciousness.
That's the whole project. That's what Vedanta is for.
I understand that, I'm sorry. But Vedanta, I'm understanding through your talks, but that is not enough.
No, these are very important questions. I could go on for hours with this. One has to work carefully here. See, this is the whole thing about aparoksha anubhuti, the very word aparoksha anubhuti. Paroksha anubhuti, pratyaksha anubhuti, aparoksha anubhuti. So she is saying, so I'm beginning to understand what you mean by pure consciousness and all that. It's becoming clear. I'm beginning to understand. But understanding is not enough. Vedanta is giving us understanding. But is there any way of experiencing? What is experience?
Awareness?
Do you have awareness now?
Yes.
Then you're experiencing awareness.
Yes.
Then what more do you want to experience?
No, experiencing means being aware, but I'm not experiencing consciousness yet.
You're not conscious?
I am conscious, yes.
You are conscious. What would it mean to experience consciousness? You see, I don't know, but you have the feeling that there must be something. We read about enlightened people coming to this fantastic experience of consciousness. Consciousness cannot be experienced as an object. It is the experiencer of all objects. It has to be understood. That understanding itself will reveal consciousness to you.
Will I know the moment?
Of course, there will be no doubt about it. No, really. There will be no doubt about it.
So you also gave the example of dream state, and then the moment
You wake up,
know.
you know.
So what is that moment that...
Yes, that is enlightenment. That's what we are pushing towards. No, that's correct. She's on the right track. That's what we are pushing towards. And Vedanta says it's available right now, right here, and the way is through understanding.
Only that is the only way.
Mm-hmm. That's not the only way. There are many ways. Look at these paradigms. You asked two questions were there about devotion, about bhakti.
The Vedanta way.
Let me give you three. I'll end with this. We'll take up this. This can be a topic for a whole class. In fact, this is the topic of the whole book. Aparoksha anubhuti. The 15 techniques which were put forward. I'll make 2 quick points. I'm sorry, I'll take a little bit of time, maybe 2-3 minutes. 2 quick points and end here. One is, if you are asking seriously, what does it mean to experience consciousness? I asked, what will it be like? You say, I don't know. Let me give you a hint what it will be like. A hint is this. All of us, we exist, You say, because you will say, I saw them. Swami was there in the chair. Yes. How do you know? I saw. This shrine is there, Vedanta Society is there. How do you know? I saw it. Right? And do you know this is the Vedanta Society of New York? I said, yes. How do you know? Because it was written. Vedanta Society. That's why it's Vedanta Society. Now if I ask you, do you have eyes? You say, yes. How do you know that the eyes are present? Will you say, I saw it? Right now, do you have eyes? Are you seeing your eyes? No. Without seeing your eyes, how do you know you've got eyes? You are able to see. The proof of my existence is you are able to see me. The proof of the existence of this book is that we are able to, proof to you, is that you are able to see the book. Proof of your existence of your eyes, you are saying, is that you are able to see. Able to see what? Everything. Anything that you see, seeing the book proves two things to you. That the book exists, and also it proves to you that you have got working eyes. Correct? Vedanta says, here's the clue. Any experience whatsoever proves to you that you are this unlimited consciousness. Which experience? Any experience. Seeing, hearing, smelling, touching. You must be consciousness to have the conscious experience. What else can you be? You cannot experience consciousness like this. Just like you cannot experience your eyes like this. But the very experience of this shows that I have got eyes. Similarly, the very experience of anything in the universe shows that I must be conscious. This is the clue. And from there starts. We can go on. I mean, actually, all of this, we studied it as a text, but with that question, one can work with a person step by step and come to this clarity. All right. The second point I want to mention here and leave you with this. 3 frameworks. Let me give you 3 frameworks. It came up in the question here. Religion, spirituality can be approached in, I'll give you 3 frameworks in which it can be approached. One is the Bhakti framework. God exists. Scriptures say so. Holy people say so. Believe in God, surrender to God, love God, pray to God, take the help of God, live with the support of God. One day you will realize God. That is moksha, freedom. One day God will appear to you. And it is validated again and again in the stories of mystics, the lovers of God, the mystics of every religion, whether it's Saint Francis of Assisi or Mirabai of Hinduism or wherever. Starts with faith, proceeds with faith, and the method is through love and devotion and surrender. One paradigm. Now comes the yogi, the Patanjali yogi, and says, no, not faith. Not belief, not love and devotion. I will show you techniques of meditation which will enable you to experience. You will have an extraordinary experience, a variety of samadhis which will prove to you the existence of your immortal soul. Samadhi, extraordinary experience. How will you do that? Here is Ashtanga Yoga, follow this. Here are the techniques, proceed. In time you will get these experiences and they will prove to you. What will prove to you? Extraordinary mystical experiences. So the path is not mainly about faith, its path is a series of psychophysical exercises designed to generate extraordinary experiences which will validate the claims. That's the path of yoga, Patanjali Yoga. Third, Vedanta. Advaita, what we are doing, the Jnana Yoga paradigm. It says, no, not faith, which is good, but we are not talking about that. No, not extraordinary experience. Because that extraordinary experience will again, how many people have that extraordinary experience? And if you start on this path, what is the guarantee that you will have it? How long will it take? 40 years? Even if you have it, neuroscientists will come and say it's because of a stroke in the brain you're having this thing. Yeah, they'll say. It's a pathological condition. What does Advaita Vedanta say? Advaita Vedanta says not faith, not even extraordinary experience. Take up ordinary experience. which is always available to you. Waking, dreaming, deep sleep. Who does not experience this? Every day we experience it. Body, mind and witness consciousness. Drashta and drishya. Who does not experience seer and the seen? Subject, object. Who does not have this experience? Everybody has it. 5 sheets of the physical body. 5 sheets of the individual. Physical body, vital body, mental body, intellectual, and then the causal, panchakosha. Everybody has this experience. Take up always available experience, and we will show you step by step, take you straight to the Atman, the pure consciousness which you are, which will be revealed to you in all clarity beyond any doubt. That's the Advaita approach. When? 40 years later? In heaven? No. Now. What's the difference? Faith and belief and disbelief? No. Knowledge and ignorance. No experience and mystical experience? No. Knowledge and ignorance. In ignorance it does not seem clear to me. In knowledge it will be indubitably clear. Getting that knowledge is the waking up experience we're talking about. We'll take it up again. It's good. These questions are really good. It shows you're thinking absolutely on track. Vedanta speaks about multiple levels of reality. They are called Paramarthika, the absolute, Vyavaharika, the relative, transactional, empirical, Vyavaharika. Pratibhasika, illusory or appearance. And there's even another one, Tuchcha. But of interest to us are these first two. Paramarthika, the absolute, and Vyavaharika, the relative. What is the absolute? Brahman, existence, consciousness, bliss. What is the relative level of reality? This. Here is the Vedanta society. Here you are, there's a person with a body and a mind and individuality. Here I am with a body and a mind and individuality. It is that same Brahman alone which appears in all these forms. In our example, it would be clay and pot. The pot also has a reality of its own. It's not as real as the clay, but in terms of use, pottery barn will not do much if it just sells you lumps of clay. If the pottery barn, they are Vedantists, if they say that, look, you imagine the pot, we just give you the clay. That will not work. They have to make up, their business is in clay. Transaction is at the level of, their business is in pots. Transaction is at the level of the pots, not at the level of the clay. So there is a transactional reality. Otherwise pottery barn wouldn't exist. They wouldn't be able to afford the rent on Broadway. So the transactional reality is where you are a person, there are other persons, you inhabit a world, and there Vedanta accepts God also. Religion belongs to this transactional world. Science belongs to this transactional world. Art, literature, all of our human culture, everything, our entire samsara belongs to that world, including Vedanta. Vedanta also belongs to this transactional world. Brahman does not need Vedanta, nor does it need to come to Vedanta class. We need it. And at that level, God is accepted. See, at one time, when Shankara taught this, there was a reaction. The other Hindus, they said, these fellows, when they talk about Vedanta, when they listen to such things, they will say, are you denying God? Same example, same question. Do these people believe in Shiva or Durga or Kali, like good Hindus? Do they believe in going to a temple? Do they believe in puja, worship, ritualistic worship? Do they believe in the law of karma? Because only Brahman is real, everything is Maya. Do they believe in all these ceremonies associated with Hindus? Are they Hindus at all? These non-dualists. And one group of dualistic Hindu schools actually charged Shankaracharya as Prachanna Bauddha, crypto-Buddhist, hidden Buddhists. All your Advaita non-dualism is simply their Buddhistic ideas grafted on Vedanta, on our Upanishads belong to us, Hindus, but they are grafted on Hindu. They are not Hindu ideas. You don't believe in God, you don't believe in temples, you don't believe in karma, don't believe in going to pilgrimages, don't believe in anything good and holy in the world. What kind of Hindus are you? And the answer from Shankaracharya was, Baba, listen. Every bit of what you say is accepted. We believe in God. Who other than Shankaracharya has composed such beautiful hymns? Hymns on Shiva, on the Divine Mother. Saundarya Lahiri is what a beautiful hymn on the Divine Mother. Then hymns on Vishnu, on Krishna, on the Ganga Stotram. Beautiful. He re-established so many temples, instituted worship, ritualistic worship in so many temples. Pilgrimages, rituals, puja, temple, God, prayer, God responding to prayer, a loving God with whom you can have bhakti, to whom you can take your problems, all of that is accepted. The law of karma, all of that is accepted. Oh, good. But read the fine print. The fine print is, it is accepted at the transactional level of reality. We are talking about something beyond that also. There is something beyond that or underneath that as the ground of that reality. The ground of that reality, the ground of you and God, the ground of the world, and from the tiniest atom to the largest galaxy is one existence, consciousness, bliss, and you are really that. This is an intuition that people in different religions have had. They have had it. Meister Eckhart, a Christian mystic, he says, the ground of God and the ground of my soul are one and the same. It's exactly Advaitic insight. They didn't have the philosophical apparatus, the structure, the logical process. They didn't see it as a separate spiritual path. But the intuition, that realization people came to. Different religions, sincere seekers will come to this realization. The glory of this is, it sets it out in full detail. And everybody, you can go in baby steps and all of us can achieve this reality, this realization. And this is mainstream. In other religions, it was often persecuted. People who said these things were persecuted, maybe sometimes even murdered. And it's sacrilegious, sounds sacrilegious. I am God. So this is the answer. So God is accepted. God is accepted. Look at the language of your question. If I pray to God, will He listen? Is this accepted in Vedanta? Who prays to God? The individual being, the Jiva prays to God, not Brahman. So at the level of Jiva, certainly, if you consider yourself to be a Jiva inhabiting the world, and let us be honest, that's our worldview, then you have to accept God, because that same Brahman appears as God to you. He said, well, I sit quietly and I imagine going to Dakshineshwar, where Sri Ramakrishna was there. So I see the room in which Sri Ramakrishna is sitting and teaching others. I go there and watch that scene for a while. Then I walk across the courtyard to the temple of the Divine Mother Kali. I go in there because he's been there all the time. I mean, he has seen all of this very vividly. Now he can reconstruct it. I bow down there. Then I go to the temple of Krishna. I go to the 12 temples of Shiva. I take a dip in the Ganges maybe, go to the Panchavati. Then immediately, that's the advantage of doing it in your mind. You don't have to face the traffic. I'm transported instantaneously to Belur Math, across the river. And then I go into the temple at Belur Math, bow down to the temple, to Sri Ramakrishna in the temple, walk down by the river, go to the temple of Swami Brahmananda, salute there, circumambulate, go to the temple of the Holy Mother, Ma Sharada. Those who have been there, if you just keep your eyes closed, you can immediately, all of these will be called up. And make it vivid. Feel each step as you are walking. You can look up and you can know what you're going to see. Feel the wind on your face, the river gurgling past, going into the temple, the cool marble floor on a touch of it on your forehead when you bow down. Feel it. Mentally repeat the mantra, the pranam mantra, that I'm saluting the Divine Mother, Ma Sharada. I'm going around the temple, again bowing, then I'm walking up to the temple of Swami Vivekananda. I'm walking to the place where the direct disciples, when they passed away, they were cremated there, the Samadhi Sthal is there. Then from there I go to Kashipur, he's telling me. where Sri Ramakrishna spent his last days. And I've read all of that. I know what happened there. So I can reconstruct the scenes. I'm standing there and watching Sri Ramakrishna and the devotees taking care of him in his last days. I go to Kamarpukur and bow down at the temple there. I go to Jairambati and bow down in the temple there. And so time and space don't matter. You can reconstruct it entirely in your mind. Instantaneously you're transported to a different place, different time. By the time you've finished this circle, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, you've done all of this. You've been all over the place. You come back, you're sitting quietly, your mind has become quiet and uplifted. Vaishnava devotees, wherever they might be in the world, sit down in meditation and imagine Vrindavan, the presence of Krishna, of Radha, of the gopis, the different places in Vrindavan, Mother Yashoda, how Krishna looks, the garland on his chest, the peacock feather, the flute that he's playing. So vividly reconstructed. Christian mystics, the vivid presence of Christ, to the extent that it was well known that the great mystics, when they intensely meditated on Christ, they would get the stigmata. Today is Good Friday. It's good that we're talking about it today. That how Christ, when he was put on the cross, and the wounds on the hand, there are a number of Christian saints who actually got it manifested physically. That's by the intense power of thought. That is meditation. It is deep meditation. But that's the meditation of the bhakta, of the devotee. There is another kind of meditation. I've not yet come to what Shankaracharya is saying. There's another kind of meditation, which is the meditation of the yogi, who does not spread out the mind in so many places, thinking about so many things and places. No. He focuses on one spot, maybe in the heart here, maybe between the eyebrows, and visualizes something, maybe Om or something, and keeps the mind there. The mind wanders away, brings it back. Mind thinks of something else, brings it back. Fixes it in a place, in a symbol, and for a time. Time, space, and object is used to fix the mind. Where is the mind? Not all over the place. Only here. Or only at the altar, there, that place. What time? From now on, for the next 30 minutes or 1 hour, that much it'll be here only. On what? What is it thinking of? Not many things. Not many places. Only one thing. Maybe Om. Maybe the flame of a candle. Maybe the symbol of the cross, or whatever you are imagining or trying to focus on. Now, can you see this is a different kind of meditation? It's a focus-oriented meditation. The first one is called Leela Dhyana. Meditation